welcome to uh, thank you and welcome to the Golden Path to Production, where we'll be talking about initializ.ai, an AI-driven unified DevSecOps platform. First of all, I'd like to introduce you to the amazing engineers behind this piece of technology. We have Sachin, Lalit, and Shivani with us here today. So let's hop on to the agenda. Today, I'll be talking about Initialize Labs, the problem at hand, and solution about that. And afterwards, Sachin will be walking you through to the visual demo of our platform. After that, we'll have Shivani, who will be talking about the security aspects of Initialize.ai, and Lalit will be audience representative today and will be talking about all the questions you have in mind while you're walking through the platform. Even after that, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it into the comments and we'll be answering it right away. So let's get started. Initialize is a rapidly growing technological startup specializing in providing comprehensive solutions and services in the field of cloud-native architecture. As a CNCF certified Kubernetes service provider, our experience lies in developing and deploying microservices, making us the industry's preferred choice. Our company is built on the expertise and experience of a dedicated team of cloud engineers, architects, and developers who are at the forefront of cloud-native technologies. We pride ourselves on staying ahead of the curve and continuously adapting to the evolving landscape of cloud computing. Now let's talk about the problem at hand for what we have gathered here today. We'll talk about the complexity and security aspects of cloud-native architecture and deployments regarding it. We often come up with revolutionary ideas that can be activated with web applications. But how do we get those apps to people or to the internet? After development, we need a whole set of procedures to deploy that application to production at scale with security, which is a complex task. Not to forget that we have hundreds of tools to choose from when we come up with a solution. These are some of the problems that new developers face. First of all, we have complexity. Building and managing a continuous integration and continuous deployment architecture is very hard. Deployments and path to production are complex tasks with hundreds of tools to choose from. Security being the second most crucial aspect of the cloud-native architecture is highly critical. The time and effort spent in fixing security lapses are expensive. If you have a couple of teams working on different tasks, they find it hard to collaborate across multiple tools. Time after time, it becomes highly ramified and it's become more complex. Even if you have everything sorted out, there are delays. Most engineering teams run on low bandwidth, so internal projects often get deprioritized. Now, that were all the problems. Now let's talk about the solution. Initialize Labs have come up with a solution that's initialize.ai. Initialize.ai helps you deploy your applications with a single click, without the hassle of creating a container ecosystem or depending upon a single technology. Not only this, we create a secure and scalable infrastructure so you can focus on innovation. With emerging technological advancements and entrepreneurial spirit, there is a huge growth in web application development. Business scalability being the next step of startups and enterprises is the most crucial and complex task which requires industry experts. Now let's compare what you get with initialize.ai. Earlier, there were too many tools to choose from. Now you have a pre-configured path to production, from idea to production in one click, and that's not exaggerating it. Earlier, you had an expensive manual optimization. Now you have an autonomous platform management. The platform automatically adjusts and scales based on application behavior and growing demands. And talking about security, earlier you have to work on recurring security tasks, but now you have automated security handling and AI-assisted security remediation. We are giving you SALSA level 2 standard security, and we have implemented the EPSS model. So in a gist, you get distraction. Earlier you were distracted from core mission, but now you can focus on innovation. While initialize scales your operations. So initialize.ai is fast, it's secure, it's reliable, and it's cost effective. Who is this for? Anyone, any new developers, startups, or enterprises, whoever is trying to scale their business but lack expertise in platform engineering, DevOps, or security practices can utilize our platform. What's different from others? Initialize.ai offers every aspect to the software development lifecycle in one place, organized so that you can see your application being processed at different stages. The platform is language independent and vendor neutral. The platform's interface is easy to navigate, and you can get the exact same experience with CLI or API for further automation. But that's for all with the words. But now is the time to see initialize.ai in action. Now, Sachin will walk you through the platform.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Hi, everyone. Today I'll be walking you through the Initialize platform. But before that, I want to show you how easy it is to take your app to the production with Initialize. So I'll just create an app and show you the different steps which are there in creating the app. So there are three steps which will be covered. First one is the source code. First, in this app, you need to configure your repository which you want to deploy. And for that, you need to install the Initialize app into your GitHub account. Once you do that, let me do that. Oh, just a second. Sorry for that. I was not aware. So once you provide access to the repositories, it will redirect you back to the Initialize. And once after providing the access for Initialize to your GitHub account for the selected repositories, you will see them into the drop-down repository drop-down. Now you have to give the name for the application and select the respective branch. So this source code directory is a optional input which you can use in case of monorepo. You can give the subpath for your repository. Now the second step is the configuration step, where you can configure the environment variables for the application if you have any. So it's very easy to configure the environment variables as well. You can enter the key here. You can select the type of the environment variable. So based on that type, there are different actions which are to be performed. Let's suppose you choose a secret environment variable, then it will be base 64 encoded by default and in the entire application so that it will be secure. After that, you can add port to the application on which you want to deploy and the path. And now we have the application instance size, which you can choose for the application based on your demand. So by default, it will be extra small for the free plan, and for the enterprise and the startup plan, we have the default option. So right now I'll just choose a small one. And also we have the check for the enable vertical auto scaling, which will help your application to manage the load in case if increases automatically. And then we have the number of instances. So configuring the number of instances will help your application to scale up and down on the load increase and decrease. So this is it. Now the third step will be the review step, where you will be reviewing your all the configurations. And once everything is good, you are ready to launch your application. Once you hit the submit button, it will take you to the application dashboard, where it will be listing down all the required information for the app.
So Sachin, till that happens, do you guys provide IDE also for editing of the code?
Right now, we are not providing the IDE, but we have a future plan to provide the integrated platform where you can collaborate, where you can do the coding stuff. Okay, so this is a live dashboard where the data will be automatically updating. So first one is the overview step, where you'll be seeing the basic details of the observability or observability metrics. So here you can see the instances for the application, the CPU usage, memory consumptions, and the network traffic for the application. Now, this is the important life cycle. Here we are displaying the complete life cycle through which the application will go through for deployment till production. So it will start from the clone step. It will take some time. Meanwhile, I'll show you app which is already been deployed to production. So after this step, you don't have to do anything. It will automatically do everything for you. So let me just show you app.
So Sachin, I have a question. Is there a time limit for repository access once granted to the app?
So as far as the initialize app will be installed in your GitHub account, initialize will be having access to the repository for which you have granted the permission.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an e-commerce application which is being deployed using the same life cycle. So as we can see, we have a link here, which is a production link, and it is out of the box a secure link. If I'll open that, it is out of the box backed by SSL, a secure link for your application. So you don't have to do any of the configuration to manage the security also. So let me just tell you some information about these steps. First one is the clone step, where the cloning of the repository will happen, and then it will move to second step, the packaging step. So our platform is language independent. In this step, basically the application will determine what language your application is about, and then based on that language, it will create the base images. So once the base image is created, the package step is done. It will move to scanning step, SCA step. In the STA step, the application will determine what all dependencies your application is having. So it will list down all the dependencies which your app is having. Once the SCA step is done, it will navigate to next step, that is scan step.
So are Docker files supported on your platform?
Why we need a Docker file? Because adding a Docker file, bringing a Docker file is increasing the security risk and also adds burden to the development team to manage the security patches and updates for the container images. So right now we are just focusing on to making it simple for the developers to take their code to production without having them much configurations. So right now we are doing out of that all configurations for them.
Okay, thank you.
So this looks a little bit similar to Jenkins. How is this different from Jenkins?
Okay, so Jenkins is basically CI platform. So, but Initialize on the other hand is a DevSecOps platform, and Initialize comes up with basically three features. First one is deploying your app with the DevOps. Second one is observability, and third is security. So all the other tools, like they are focusing on one aspect like CI or CD. Similarly, Jenkins is doing so. I will say the initialize is giving you much more than that, and the pipeline is just a feature of the initialize application. Okay, once the scanning step, in the scanning step, basically it will determine all the vulnerabilities into your application and list them down. You can also configure the uh, vulnerability up to which your application can be deployed to next step. Let's suppose if you configure that the apart from medium vulnerabilities, if you have high or critical, the application should not go in the further steps. So you can configure that. Once after the scan step is completely successful, then it will deploy to test step. So your application will be deployed in the test environment. And once it will be deployed in the test environment, you can access that with the help of this URL. Okay.
So how does your platform handle scaling when there's an increase in load?
Okay. So while creating the app, we have configured the number of instances for min and max number of instances. So as the load increases, the application will automatically scale up and scale down. There's no
Okay,
other configuration needed.
okay. So will there be any downtime during version changes?
No, there will be no downtime because we are following the rolling updates. So if whenever the new version is available, only then the previous version will be destroyed. So there will be no downtime for the application.
Okay, and Sachin, after deployment, if I want to see the performance of my application, I want to see the logs. Is there any possible way I can check it with your application?
Yeah, we do have a dedicated tab for that. Under the log section, you can check the logs for the different environments. Like if you want to check the log for the test environment, you can see the all the logs which are being there in the application in the test environment. And similarly for the staging and the prod environment.
Okay, and how about the CPU and metrics is it's using? Okay, we have the app summary. Okay,
Yeah. So we have a basic observability matrix over here, which is showing the basic usage, basic information about the observability, like the application instances, CPU usage, and memory consumption. So after the deployment in the test environment, for the higher environment, we have an approval step that will someone have to manually approve for the higher environment. That one I'll show you with the app which I just created. Let me just go there. Yeah, so this is the app which we just created. And now it is also deployed to test environment. Now it's waiting for the approval for the higher environments. So as I click on the approval step, it will show a comment box where you can put a comment if any, and then approve. So as soon as you approve, it will deploy the next higher environment.
Can we schedule this deployment process for a particular time?
Right now, we are not supporting that, but in the near future, for the enterprise plan, we will be supporting that scheduling of the deployments.
And if user does not approve this at this stage?
That it will not be deployed to the next higher environment.
Okay.
Or if user rejects it, in that case also it will not be deployed.
If he rejects, then how will he get this approval stage again?
So we can re-trigger the pipeline.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so this is being deployed to staging environment, and now it's waiting for the approval of the next higher environment, that is production environment. Let me approve for the production as well.
so our
So see,
deployment time. limited to Kubernetes?
Right now, we are just focusing on to provide ease for the developers to not to worry about these all configurations. So for now, we have configured only Kubernetes, but you are getting out of the box a URL, so you don't have to worry about all those things. But in the near future, we'll be supporting on-demand clusters also, and all those configuration, all those things will be available under the enterprise plan.
Okay.
Okay, so see how easy is this to take your app to the production. Within matter of minutes, I have created an app and it's now into the production environment and I can access with a URL which is backed by SSL. And for each of these tabs, you can check the stage summary and the logs for each of these tabs. Now we have other two tabs where which one logs I've already explained. You can see the environment logs over here. And there's another tab which is for the settings. So let's suppose you want to update few of the settings of the applications that you can update from here. Also, we do have a prod and current environment switch. So if your app is taken to production, you can check all the data in from the production as well. So right now for this app, the current and the production environment data is same. So there will not be a significant difference in this data. Okay, now I'll explain you the concept of workspaces.
Sachin,
So
before you go there, so how do I re-trigger this pipeline? If I change my code and I have done some update in my code, will it
uh-huh.
automatically be deployed to the test environment again?
Okay, so as soon as you push any latest changes or in the configured branch, then it pipeline will be automatically triggered. You don't have to do anything. One more thing, if your application fails at some step, so at this point you can re-trigger your pipeline with a rebuild button which will be coming up here. So you can re-trigger this pipeline on demand as well.
Got it.
Okay, so we do have a concept of workspaces where a team will be collaborating. So that will be a isolated environment for a team. So I'll just create a workspace. I'll add the team members to this workspace with their respective roles. So based on that roles, the team members will be accessing the things in the workspaces. I can create a different apps in the workspaces, and that will be completely isolated from the other workspace. Okay, and now our application is also backed with a RBAC feature. So we do have different roles in the application. Based on that, user can perform the different actions, and all those things can be configured from the settings tab where all the users with their different roles will be listed down. Okay, the last thing which I want to show is the pricing plan for the initialized platform. We have the developer plan as the free plan, and the startup, for the startups we are providing this plan, and for the enterprises will be coming soon. Now I'll hand over to Shivani to show you the security aspects of the application, like what all things comes up with the security dashboard.
Thank you, Sachin. Hello everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah, so in the security tab, we can see the scan compliance. This policy compliance shows that how many apps are scanned, and then if we have any critical vulnerability, then it is considered as non-compliant. And if we don't have any critical vulnerability in the scans for any of the app, then it will, according to our policy, it is compliant. So they are following our policy. And if they are non-compliant, then we are showing this percentage here after this. It means if I have 5 compliant apps and 5 non-compliant apps, so I will have policy compliance based on success, this compliant. So it will be 50%. So 50% will be green and 50% will be red as per pass and fail. And here we can see this pie chart. It is showing that total CVEs we have in these apps. So this CVE stands for common vulnerability exposure, and it is used to evaluate the threat level of a vulnerability, and it helps us determine how safe our app is. And we can see this app name has its overall exploit probability, that how prone our app is to get attacked by attackers. And then we can see this workspace, in which workspace we have made this app. We can also filter workspaces here like this. If I want to see my apps in new workspace, then it will filter it like this. I can see for my workspace, for demo workspace, I do not have any app in demo workspace, so it's showing no apps available. Then we can see this last scan. When this app was created or when was it last scanned, then we can switch to this prod, and we can see it is last scanned today, because we scan every prod app every day, that if we want any uh, if we get any bug, we can fix it. That's why we scan every prod app every day. Then we can see these CVs, this uh, let, let us see for all the apps, the CVs with their counts. And then we can see this SBOM, which stands for Software Bill of Materials. It lists what we need to run our app. And when we scan these SBOMs, we get these CVs. And we can download this SBOM and this CV, and it will get downloaded in the JSON format. So it is being downloaded. That's why I'm getting restricted to click on again. We can see successfully downloaded this toast message with this app name. So CV is downloaded. SBOM will take time. So it's taking time. Else we want to download any another SBOM, we can click on it. Then we can go to this particular app, and now we can see the scan compliance for that particular app, if it was compliant or non-compliant. See, we downloaded the SBOM also. And then we can see CVs for that particular app. We can see this overall exploit probability, uh, which is indicating how likely the app is to be attacked. Then we can see this CVE trend, and this CVE trend shows how the number of CV is changing daily, monthly, this daily, monthly, weekly, monthly, 6 months, or a year. So whether it's increasing or decreasing, uh, allowing us to access that if we effectively reducing it or not. we can see this trend here. And for each CVE, we can see this severity, this exploit probability, this package which is get affected by this particular CVE, this version, and in which version, if it is available, in which version we can fix it. And then we can see short description for that particular CVE. Then we can click on this CVE, we can check the year of the CVE and its CVSS score. So severity we are getting on the basis of this CVSS score. And if you want to get more information, then you can click on this another tab of the reference and you can get this whole details for that particular CVE. And then we can see its exploit probability, its EPSS score, which is exploit prediction scoring system. So we are getting this EPSS score on the basis of this exploit probability. And then we can see this CVE is impacting which application and which package. So we can get the list of the application and packages on this page. If it is in any workspace, we can get it. We can filter it by here.
Shivani, we have a question in the chat. How is the exploit probability being determined? Can you explain that?
Yeah. Yes. So the CV level EPS score, this is coming from a prediction model which has been created by industry security leaders through a foundation called first.org. So we are bringing this CV level EPS score from there. And then we have, let me go to that, this overall exploit probability for a particular app. So we have our own model for this. So which derives the exploit probability based on all the CVs there out in, like, all the CVs have their severity, exploit probability. So we provide that metric around that what is the overall exploit probability of an application based on this individual APS score and combining with our model. And then we can see, we can also click on this application and go to this app dashboard. Also, we additionally we offer auto remediation. We just saw that fix inversion. So if it is available, then at app level, that user can fix it. User can update the dependency file manually for the fix inversion. Let me check any another app in which we can see the fix inversion. So let me see this. Here we can see, yeah, we can see this CV ID and its severity is high. So we can fix it. It's in this version 1.4.0 and we can fix it in 1.5.2. So user can manually update this dependency file and resolve the CV issue. But if user wants it to on OS level, then if a fix is available and user has opted for auto remediation, we will fix it by running the pipeline with the latest version. So OS level we can handle and app level user can fix. So that's it from my side. If you have any another question, you can put here in the chat. Thank you.
Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed the session. And if you have any more questions, we have some more time. If you could add in the comments. So yes, you do get a custom URL while you're creating the application. and you can add it just like other microservices communicate using the endpoints. It is in while you're creating the application, you have the option to create a customized URL as well. You'll see it on the dashboard while the application is running or deployed.
So I see there's a question about vulnerabilities
Yes.
by type. We can see by type packages. So if you click on any particular CVE, it would show you all the packages it is affecting. So there you will see the package info in the vulnerability details on our dashboard.
And we have another question for monitoring the application.
Yeah. So for
So I'd
monitoring
like,
the application, we do provide a basic observability matrix over the application dashboard itself. But we, with an update, we are working on the observability dashboard. You can monitor the complete application at single place.
And we have logs too. And the logs tab, you can check your application logs for monitoring it.
so if we are done with the questions, I'd like to thank everyone who joined us today. And thank you for making this session very interactive with the questions and everything. And if you enjoyed the session, do okay, so we have another question from Weber. Can I add custom steps in the pipeline? Right now, we're not offering that feature. It might be there in future, but it is not there for now.
So right now we are just focusing on to provide you a simple and super easy path to take your application to production. So we have already predefined all this necessary steps which will bring the security piece with your application. But in near future we are planning to provide all those customizations.
While we're watching, you can solve the puzzles and you can also give the questions. Okay. So we have another question for sensitive credentials and secrets management. So we
Yeah,
are
I'll take up this, Ashwarya. So as I already mentioned, while adding up the environment variables, you can select the type of the environment variable. So for the secrets type, we are already encoding them with the base64. But in the upcoming update, we are working on the encrypting of the environment variables, where the environment variables get encrypted throughout the application. So it will not be exploit. It will not be visible.
Sachin, can you answer about the competitors? I think there are questions about competitors in the market.
So as I already mentioned, there are various tools which focusing on one aspect of the complete DevSecOps lifecycle, like the CI aspect or the CD aspect or the security thing. And but there's no as such a platform which is providing you all the things at a single place, which Initialize is offering you. You can deploy your application with the security pieces, and you can check the observability of the application. You can monitor your application. You can do a lot of things at a single place with the Initialize.
Right. So I guess that was all with the questions. Um, do you have any answers for the puzzles? No one? Guys, if you have any more questions, you can connect with us on our community. And if you like the session, do follow us on LinkedIn and like this on YouTube and subscribe as well. For any more questions, do drop on the LinkedIn channel. And thanks for joining. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sachin. Thank you,
everyone.
Lalit. And thank you, Shivani, for an amazing session.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.